AUN, American Underground Network.
The primary reason why the individual citizens of a country create a political structure is a subconscious wish or desire to perpetuate their own dependency relationship of childhood. Simply put, they want a human God to eliminate all risk from their life, pat them on the head, kiss their bruises, put a chicken on every dinner table, clothe their bodies, tuck them into bed at night, and tell them that everything will be all right when they wake up in the morning. This public demand is incredible, so the human God, the politician, meets incredibility with incredibility by promising the world and delivering nothing. So who is the bigger liar, the public or the Godfather?
All revolutions have been led by young people. If you just think of the TV images of whether it's Tiananmen Square or whether it's the revolts in Central America or Europe, it's the young people, it's the college people who are more principled and not locked in and they're not embedded with the government. They are the ones who are concerned about the future because the future is theirs.
My research has shown at this point that the future laid out for us may be just about impossible to change. I do not agree with the means by which the powerful few have chosen for us to reach the end. I do not agree that the end is where we should end at all. But unless we can wake the people from their sleep, nothing short of civil war will stop the planned outcome.
It's the National Collective Consciousness Show with Dee Dee Farrell in Portland, Oregon, Jim Condit Jr. in Cincinnati, Ohio, Steve Harris in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, live from Evanston, Illinois, your host, Fred Smart.
Thanks, everyone. Welcome back on another Thursday evening. So many things that we've covered on this show over the last 12 plus years relates to the collective consciousness of ourselves, each other, mankind, things that happen on an everyday basis. There's so many seeming coincidences that aren't really coincidences. They're unique, they're special, they're oh yeah type God wink moments. Speaking of, there's a God wink.
Yeah, whoever's got their open mic, please mute yourself. *6. Okay, thank you.
He's whistling away there.
Sound like a tea kettle.
Yeah, down the old brick road. Our guest tonight, I swear, has been with us before. I feel it. I know Santos was on with us many, many years ago, but heads up and hats off to a gentleman by the name of Jay here in Chicago, who I drove in my car a few weeks ago, and he recommended Santos to come on as a guest, and I called him up on Facebook, and sure enough, Santos, I believe, has been with us, but I can't trace it all the way back and confirm it, but he's on with us right now from California. Thankfully, he's not in Australia, so he's just a couple hours behind us, but he's the founder of the Universal Truth School. He's an author, syncretist, and astrotheologist. The connectedness of everything. That's the kind of the essence of what he covers in his Truth School, Universal Truth School. Thank you, Santos, for coming on and joining us. We're going to circle the dots and connect the dots, so to speak, because we are all one family. We are all in it together, and there's a divine providence that I think your work speaks of highly, that is ordering things and connecting things and lifting us up toward the truth, toward the light, as a collective consciousness for mankind. And thank you for coming on, Santos.
Thank you, Fred, and Stephen DB there in the background. I really appreciate being invited to come on with you. It's a pleasure and an honor, and I hope I can, present something really nice for the listeners, and we can all have something beneficial to ponder.
Santos, speaking of this connectedness, you're calling from L.A. Our oldest son is flying back from L.A., and a gentleman by the name of Aaron Russo, who lived in L.A. and was the documentarian and producer of America, Freedom to Fascism. That is the documentary that brought us together to create this, that later became this show. And it's the spirit of Aaron Russo that got us all together. So you knew Aaron, or you knew the documentary. You said you saw it many years ago. I think we did cross paths years ago. I think it was in reference to Aaron, but you were definitely in the river with Aaron for the kinds of things that we were all doing together. And I'm sure you go back even prior to Aaron with all your work. But how did you start this path that you're going down, Santos? It sounds like you really got a lot going on, and you've done a lot of good, deep research, and you produce some wonderful products for people to benefit from.
Yeah, well, this thing is, it comes from the self, the evolved, prepared individual, whether they are ready for this path of knowing the truth that will set you free. I just feel that I had it from birth. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, wow.
At the age of 13, I did the teenage things, smoking cannabis, chasing girls, and having hot cars. Then at the age of 18, 19, I was running a business, a restaurant, with my sister, and my teenage years were completed, and I had an urge to worship God, and do the right thing. And so I went back and defaulted to what I knew to be the truth. We call this faith of the Jehovah's Witnesses the truth. So I was there for 25 years up until 2005, and I started my path when I was baptized in around 81, 82, and I was lucky enough to have an older sister in the congregation who pointed me to a book that led me on this path, and it was by Irene Norbergen, and it was Secrets of the Lost Races, speaking about technology that existed pre-flood and also post-flood. But it was interesting. He spoke about oops that are hidden in boxes in the back of museums, stored away, where no one wants to, confront the truth of these objects of ancient technology. So they call them OOP parts. They find them in digs, archaeological sites, etc. And they go, oops, this is a part we don't need to tell people about, and it's hidden away. And Reen Norbergen was really good at uncovering mysteries, gold elaborate chain found in Ohio in a mine, skeletons, crystallized skeletons of human beings, millions of years old, etc. So that was it. I knew that I was going to be in cognitive dissonance with the Jehovah's Witnesses, but I studied in secret, and I submerged myself in Alexander Hislop, the Two Babylons, understanding a lot of etymology and the system of the Roman Catholic Babylonish system, which is a system. And so I was getting into Isaac Asimov, Emmanuel Velikovsky, read all his books, all these theories about the cosmology, etc. I did all my Greek studies, studied the Greek language thoroughly, and did all the Greek philosophy, etc. Plato, Pythagoras. I consider myself a Neoplatonist, really, because that was the spiritual transcendental school of the West, which was closed by edict by Justinian in the year 527 CE. So that was a tragedy, because from then on, the elites only used Aristotle and his materialist view of creation in their universities, and Plato was silenced. And so essentially what you find in Plato is what's in the Christian Greek scriptures. They are named thusly because they are Greek philosophy. Christ and Jesus, which is Jupiter Zeus, Jesus, is one and the same. One is King of Kings, one is God of gods. And so I started in 2005 realizing with all the research I'd done that I was not able to continue as Jehovah's Witness. Then in 2007, I got on the path, which then caused me to find all the books that I've read that really have made the complete perspective of syncretism and complete integration of all philosophies and fields of learning that I have now. So it's been 12 solid years of research, reading books. And just to conclude now with this, I feel like Giovanni Pico della Mirandola, who was a syncretist in the Renaissance, who was saying to his master and teacher, Marsilio Ficino, translator of the Hermetica, he said, divine providence has caused certain books to fall into my lap. And that's how I feel. I really feel that all the right books fell into my lap at the right time. And I was able to really understand all the things that I've studied all my life, which I treasured in my heart, and knew that one day I would know these things properly, rather than having a conditioned doctrinal point of view as would have the Jehovah's Witnesses and all the other so-called Christian churches.
As you talk, Santos, so much of the yearning that we all have that keeps us on this call, coming back week to week, is to appreciate, find, and share the connectedness of everything. Simple examples, and then here it is. You're telling us 2007 books fell into your lap. Direction was laid out, sort of like a red carpet was laid out, and you walked down the runway with all these books, and you are actually you made a stair step up toward the light. It sounds like, and you become, man, that's got to be exciting.
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt, but so you're telling us Plato and Pythagoras were kicked out, and Aristotle, this black and white material example or this alternative, is what we're left with.
Absolutely. The elite synarchy that rules the world are Aristotelian. They are left-hand pathers, materialists.
Yep.
And their dominion is the earth, and they don't seek higher dominion because they've been cast out of heaven, symbolically. And so they are the demon children of God, and we are the angelic children of God, ascending, they are descending. And theirs is the left-hand path. Ours is the right-hand path of purity. And you were speaking about integration before and syncretism and unity. The way to achieve this is through the knowledge of magnetism. We're living in an electrical world of polarity. Red shift, blue shift, the wave, vibration. So we need to go beyond the vibration to the radiation of magnetism. Magnetism does not vibrate.
Tesla.
It's
Tesla.
a radiation.
Nikolai.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Standing waves, longitudinal wave. It propagates through its medium longitudinally. Hence, as you throw a stone in a pond, you create those circles, ripples that always are expanding. This is called magnetism, magnitude. It is a pure energy. It pulsates. It's a pulse wave universe, not a particle wave universe. Particles do not exist. So magnetism is pulsing like your heart, and as it radiates radially and propagates through the medium, ether, fire, air, water, earth, it encounters resistance. Ohms, om, all is atom. And that resistance, that M sound in the universe, is now what is producing maritime M water waves, transverse waves, which are directly 90 degrees opposed to the longitude wave. And that is redshift, blue shift. And that's the world in which we live, in which the Gnostics called the abortion. And other schools would teach was a mistake, a disastrous world because of all the suffering that is encountered. So, but that world gives you duality. Pythagoras spoke of living in duality through unity, or living in unity through duality. That's the secret. We can all embrace and understand and know the magnetic field. Manly P. Hall spoke a lot about the magnetic field that is in everything. And that is our mother who art in heaven, white light. She moves the whole universe. And she is the source of all atoms. All atoms are torus field. Blue shift, red shift. Red shift is the proton. Blue shift is the electron. And the block wall, or the plane of inertia, inside every torus field is the neutron. So to understand the atomic model, you would have to superimpose the torus field over it, and you will understand all of how creation works through this one form. And this one form is called Jupiter Zeus, Jesus, the soul of the universe. Torus fields are that. And the thing about torus fields is that people speak about it without speaking of its other half. The other half is all wide, which is the hyperbola. Bula in there is the bull. And the torus field is the torus, the bull and the torus. Torus is red shift, bull is blue shift. It's in the word. And so what is happening is that all atoms are little points of energy coming out of space and creating time-space. And this is how everything is fractally from the atom up to galaxies. It's all torus fields. If you look at some of these galaxies that I have pictures of, you will see a plane of inertia where all the stars are spread out, and then you'll see a jet in the center going up like the tree of life above and below this plane. And that is a torus field. And this is why Krishna is always with his cows when he plays his flute, because sonoluminescent Krishna is only making torus fields, which are called cows. And that's why the Egyptians said all is atum, because these atoms are torus fields. They won't tell you that because they don't want you to understand what the atomic nature of the universe is. It's toroidal, it's magnetic rotating fields. And we can charge our magic magnetism through various yogic practices, theurgy. The Neoplatonists spoke about theurgy and henosis, merging with the mind and ascending into the thrones of God. And these are all inside your body. As I teach in Astrotheology, that man is the measure of the universe, and therefore we have all the answers within. Simple.
Man is the measure of the universe, and as well it's very Swedenborgian for you to say that, because Swedenborg, the theologian, mathematician, scientist, inventor who lived from 1688 to 1772, said the human body is the form of heaven. There's a correspondence to everything in the body that corresponds to something spiritually in heaven, namely the communities in heaven in a connected way. So when you talk about this Taurus, we're all in this together. You're emitting energy right now. We're emitting energy just being on this show, as an example. Every one of your words is like a rock that lands in the pond and radiates, and we're all receivers of those signals. Santos, it sounds like. Wow.
Yeah, so we are. That's why we have a torso, which is a torus field, which emanates an aura, which is a Torah. Hence, we go to the synagogue to learn the Torah, because it's all about torus fields, and Torah is backward, reverse for rota, rotating magnetic fields. Mag in Sanskrit means to move. Hence, that's
to
our
move.
mother,
Wow.
white light. Yeah, magnetism, to move, because the opposite and co-eternal principle with magnetism is dielectricity, black light. Krishna is black. Radharani is white and golden. So one is the feminine. Radharani means radiate. Magnetism radiates. Together they have a child called Belarama, Bell-electricity, red shift, blue shift. Hence you have a red and blue yin and yang, as per the South Korean flag, and you have a black and white yin and yang. Black and white is the symbol of rest and motion. White light is motion, black light is rest, and they are co-eternal principles and coexistent. And they generate through movement the color red, which is the first which fractalizes or which refracts from white once it splits, because white light does not vibrate. All the other lights have vibration. Redshift, being the lowest of the visible spectrum, shoots out first, immediately followed by blue shift. Then, third in line is green. Hence, we have green planets, we have green St. Patrick, green Osiris, same archetype. Green. Green is an anagram for energy. It's the same word. So it's energy. It's energy. And green is your heart chakra, where that energy is, and it has 12 petals. That's why Jesus of the Sacred Heart is always pointing to his heart chakra, because he has 12 disciples, you see. And the body is the temple of Solomon, and this is why you have a thoracic cage. Thor is Taurus field. Remember, the Taurus field is called Jesus, Jupiter Zeus, Jupiter Zeus. So Jesus is Thor, Zeus and Thor in the system. As you have a thorax, and how many vertebrae do you have? 12. And you have 12 discs in the vertebrae, which is below that is the lumbar, which means tree, the tree of life. 33 discs, and there the thoracic cage, which has 12 ribs on one side and 12 ribs on the other, 24. You have now Thor, Jupiter. You see, Arthur has 12 knights around his table. Well, that's Thor, Arthur. And it's Jesus with his 12 disciples. It's in the body. So once you go through the initiation, you have 33 degrees. And those 12 degrees are the ones that enter you into, it's called the cervix, 7 utmost of the vertebrae. Cer is ceiling, or the heavens, and also the cerebrum, cer. So once you do the 12 initiations with 4, Jesus, traveling up the spine. Then you get to the cervix of 7, the 7 heavens. And then you proceed to the last vertebrae, where if you raise your oils of the nervous system in good practices, then you will have a crucifixion at 33, which is the age of Jesus' crucifixion. At the 33rd vertebrae, where the vagus nerve crosses over and forms a cross in your body. This is the cross of the crucifixion. And we need to raise our chrism, or Christos oil, from the sacral plexus right up to the crown chakra. And then we have all our dormant brain cells reactivated. And we have a halo, and we generate a magnetic field. And we become givers, like helio Gnostics or helio saviors, and we save ourselves as others and ascend into the solar consciousness, Sol Invictus, the invincible sun. The sun is a portal. It's a hole. It's holy. Hole means holy, and it's hallowed and halo, and halos in Greek means salt. And Jesus said, "You are the salt of the earth." In your body, you are made of salts: magnesium, sodium, chloride, potassium, phosphorus. These are all salts. And so salt is soul. The soul that is in you, and the sun in the sky is the soul of the universe. So this is the wormhole, and we can ascend through the sun, the portal of the sun. This is why the Son of God in the Scripture says, "No one goes to the Father except through me." And that is the wormhole, where we must become solar heroes. And like Christ, you see, Christ is the sun, because it is a crested, it has a corona. Well, Christ has a crown. It's the sun, you see. So that body is the portal, which through, if we are worthy, we will ascend through that portal and be saved by the Son of God, the Redeemer of mankind. So this is why Helio-Gnosticism, which is otherwise called Christianity, is such a good science to learn and master. The Scriptures are literary, they're not literal. There's no historicity back of Scriptures. It appears to be historical because this is how gospel is made. When you read a gospel, you're not reading history, you're reading a gospel, which means it is an archetypal cosmological rendition, physically presented, to help the ascending mind to understand and grasp the transcendental causes of this world. The materialists, as per Darwin, they only see material causes, and so they are limited. They don't see the true cause of all things. So, yeah, the body being the temple of soul of man, Solomon, was builded by Hiram Abyss. Hiram Abyss means the high ram above. Aries, the cerebrum. Aries, the first sign, is always at the top of the head. Cerebran, Sarah Abraham. You see? In theology, it's Sarah Abraham in heaven with God in the cranium. Head is heaven, heaved up. Heel is hell, down below. And earth is the heart. They are anagrams of each other. So, and hell is below, it's a condition. The heart is purgatory, purging, fire. Pyro, P-Y-R is the same as P-U-R. So this is purgatory, purging our souls in the heart, which is Sol Invictus. And then we ascend to the land of God in the high heavens, Aries, Cerebrum. And so this is why in Revelation it says, only the lion and the lamb are worthy to open the 7 seals. The 7 chakras, the heart and the crown chakra. And when these, the lion and the lamb, lie together in the wilderness, there will be a paradise. So as we ascend up to heaven heaved up, where the Lamb of God stands upon Mount Zion, the spinal column, we then sing a new song. And it's the song of the 144,000, you see. When the saints go marching in, oh Lord, I want to be in that number. That's the number of the New Jerusalem. Because if you count all the petals of the 6 chakras below the 1,000 lotus, the 1,000-petaled chakra, which is the crown chakra, and you multiply that 1,000 by the number below, you come to 144. So the base chakra has 4 petals, the sacral 6, sex, same word, the solar plexus 10, the heart chakra 12, the throat chakra 96, and all of these add up to 144. And then the Lamb of God sitting on the throne, Aries, the cerebram, this is also Abraham, because he killed the ram caught in the thicket rather than killing his son Isaac sacrifice. So this is how you reach Hiram Abyss of the Freemasons, the Hiram above. You ascend through the chakras, you raise the christic fluids, which is called charisma, which gives you charisma. Hence, the Christian has charisma. He has a glow. He has magnetic force with him, ever present, and bliss, because he is with Christ in Christ's kingdom. You don't go to hell, you don't go to heaven. It's in you, and it's your choice to ascend. If you are done with material living, you make that decision and you ascend. You don't wait till you die. You do it now.
Wow. Santos, it sounds like the Masonic foundation of documented truth that's been passed down generations upon generations, and you know, these are these ancient truths. You have really dug in here, because I'm not a Mason myself, but the power of the each word and where it came from, written right in the Bible, and what it really means, literally, as you say, you're documenting all this on this call tonight, is it's part of our heritage, it's part of our ancient, truthful heritage, and you had to be really blown away to discover this stuff, man. And I'm sure you're still on this quest every day. New things probably come to you.
Yeah, I feel like I know nothing. You know, I feel as the journey has begun. But I do say that syncretism will teach you to know all things. So you have access to it now. You have the keys to the kingdom. The keys were taken away. But the keys, you have to have the key to understand the esoteric teaching, the higher teaching. The Jews, Moses, anyway, the 12th, 11th century Spanish Jew Kabbalist who said, and repeating the words of all the preceding great masters of Kabbalah and esoteric Judaism, which is another face of Christianity, they all are. He said that if you read our works, i.e. the Torah, and you take them literally, you are foolish. For these, what you're reading, are cloaks that hide the true meaning within, and you must uncloak these vestments and find what is within, the true meaning. He said, don't you think that Abraham and all these men were literally historical? These are God archetypes. These are who you are in your higher self. Jesus and the journey of Jesus to to be crucified is our journey. It's our journey to become a Christ. Jesus and Christ are not the same thing. That's why in Matthew chapter 23, verse 12, Jesus says, not Christ, because Christ does not have a prophet, a body. He's not a man. Jesus is representing the man that we are. Christ is the God that we are. Hence Jesus says, do not be calling anyone teacher here on earth, for one is your teacher, the Christ. So here you have Jesus talking to his apostles, telling them that the Christ is their teacher, speaking of the Christ in the third person. Christ represents the spirit, the oneness of the universe. Jesus represents the soul, the sevenness of the universe. This is why the last 37 degrees of the vertebrae are the cervix, the heavenly part. And Jesus has 7 trials in the Garden of Gethsemane. We are now in the Garden of Gethsemane, all of us, and we are about to be betrayed by Judas. And we are about to be crucified and betrayed by St. Peter, Jew Peter, 3 times, you see. This represents the fact that we stand alone before God and that our friends and all will betray us. And we have to be strong enough to endure till the end in the path, in purity, just as Ulysses did when he tied himself to the mast and ordered his boatsmen not to pull the wax out of his ears, nor to take the blindfold from his eyes so that he wouldn't be seduced by the sirens, so he could get back to Penelope, who was waiting. The higher mind was waiting for Ulysses, who was wandering for 10 years, representing the cycles of necessity. And finally he came to his senses like the prodigal son and returned to his father's kingdom. So Penelope is pia mater in the cerebrum, in the cranium. And she is the Holy Mother who art in heaven. And so when we return to heaven, to her, with all our wisdom, and like Ulysses, we pierce the eye of the needle with our arrow, and giving evidence to Penelope that we are the chosen one, and that all of her suitors can now be told to leave, because she told them that she would take a suitor if Ulysses didn't return. And so this is the virtuous woman who keeps her love for her hero, and they both ascend together. And this is what Ulysses is, another version of Jesus, who becomes Christ, Jesus. So Jesus is in the soul, which is the heart, and Christ is the Lamb of God, who is the cerebrum, the crown chakra. And so when we unite these two, I and the Father are one, then we do as Jesus says, no one goes to the Father except through me, through the heart, which is the Son, which is the wormhole, holy portal to the other realms. Behind the Son is the true Son, the source Son, which is many times more powerful than our Son. This is the Son of God. God is the Son behind the Son. This is taught in all the ancient religions, Mithraic religions, Zoroastrianism, Hinduism. They all teach this. And the Son is otherwise known as Krishna, or his brother Rama, the Ram. And it's the Ram, the Lamb of God.
Did you say Ram, R-A-M, Ram of God? Or
Yes, R and L are interchangeable. Ram or Lamb. A lamb becomes a ram. So the lamb is the symbol of the lamp. In Revelation 21 it says, and the city shall not have any sun, for the Lamb shall be its lamp. The Son is the Lamb of God, the lamp of the universe. In Greek, the word is lambos, lamb. So lamb is interchangeable with P. See? So now you have lamb, lambos in Greek, which means light. And you see lamb, L-A-N-B, is a name for balm. And what you do with balm, you heal. And in balm, you find the word Baal, the sun god. And that Baal goes back to hyperbola. Every Baal, every bull, all of these words, they are the hyperbola, which is the hourglass inside the donut-shaped torus field. That hourglass is Chronos, Christ, the timekeeper. See? Christ and Krishna. Krishna says, time I am. And that's the hourglass that is inside every atom. It's a time-space manifestation. And that is where time, the symbol of time, comes from. The winged disc of the Egyptians has always got the hourglass in the middle. You'll find pictures of it on Google Images. Why did they put an hourglass inside the wings? And because it is the hyperbola. And it's the torus field. And it's the only form that exists. And everything is this. There is no other subject other than magnetism and its child, electricity, and dielectricity, counterpart of magnetism. Those are the three. That's the Trinity. Black light is Krishna, white light is Radharani radiating, and Balaram is electricity. Rama is Ram. So when the sun, like a computer, produces RAM, it is information. And RAM is like the soul of the universe, the sun, Rama, in the sky. It channels information from the file to the screen of the computer. The screen is the material world, the theatre. The file is the causal world, the spirit. Spirit, soul, body. File, RAM, Rama, the screen. So the file contains information, and RAM, Rama, is transmitting that from its core. And the file is in counter space. You cannot find the files. If you open up your hard drive, you will not see files. You will not see anything. It's information held in counter space. Ones and zeros. Mm-hmm. A full hard drive does not weigh more than an empty hard drive. They weigh the same, but one has more information. Hence, the sun is transmitting intellect, information, wisdom, knowledge. It illuminates our pineal gland and gives us this direct access to knowledge. And it is the Ram, the Rama, the conscious center of our universe. So this is why we have to become helio-Gnostics, solar heroes, to be saved, like Hercules. They saved themselves and they saved others.
Helio-Gnostics, Helio-Gnostics, like the word helio.
Gnostics is Gnostic.
Yep.
Helio is the sun, helion.
Okay.
And Gnostic is Gnostic, G-N, which gives you K-N, knowledge, knowledge.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah.
Okay, so carnal is knowledge. Gnostic,
yeah, I got it.
To know. To know something. Now, this is rooted in the Ankh. This is why the Egyptians hold the Ankh, because they want that Ankh knowledge, Gnosticism. And we have to be helio-Gnostics, not lunar-Gnostics. The ones who are polarized lunarly, they are more like atheists. They are godless. But they are on their path. Only the sun is the savior. And Jupiter Zeus. Jupiter light is like unto the suns. The sun is Saint Michael. Jupiter is Saint Ariel, the archangels. And they are holes in the firmament. On the second day of creation, God created the firmament. And in Psalms 18, it says that the sun is like a bridegroom in the tent. That's the firmament. And as it goes along the ecliptic, the hole that is the Holy Sun is moving along the ecliptic and giving us day and night. And day is deus, to deify, the day. It's the deity, the deity. And night, that's Satan, the darkness, the ignorance. And that is Saturn's domain, whereas the day is the sun. And he saves us by lighting up the path for our foot and tumble, but also raising our consciousness to its high level through the heart and seating us in the heart. We need to be seated in the heart, in the forever now. And that is why the heart says dum dum, dum dum, because all is atum. And the gland of the heart is all is atum, dum dum. It's a pulse. And
like the atom,
gland of
like
the
the
heart
atom.
is the
atom. Yeah.
Yeah, all is atoms. That's what atom is. Atum. It's also Adam. Hence we are atomized because we have an atomy in our torso, Taurus body.
Oh gosh, isn't that
and
something?
So
Anatomy. Anatomy.
And yes, so all is atum. And so when we go into this, the heart, we find the thymus is the gland for the heart. Thymus is Thomas. Just remove the H and you get thymus or Thomas. Thomas means twin, and the gland is a twin. It's a twin gland that sits above the heart. And it is Thomas, the twin of Jesus in the heart, the thymus. The heart is Jesus, the soul, the cur, and the thymus gland is Thomas. And so they are twins. And you'll find that everywhere in your body you have this temple of Solomon. The optic thalamus is the eye, the light of the world. The third eye is the eye that is simple. I've brought out all of the body parts and how they relate to the gods. Ganesha of the Hindus, the elephant head. That's the cerebrum and the spinal column. And he is the protector because it's the Lamb of God who protects your feet when it shines. The Lambos, the light. I am the light of the world. Through me you shall be saved. Because it's the cerebrum that will save us when we go to heaven. And this is what the ancients taught. There was only one theme, one motif, and it was all astrological, based on the ecliptic, and the ecliptic is the body of man. Man is the measure of the universe. Aries is the cerebrum, Taurus is the cerebellum, the cerebellum, Gemini is the twin, the arms. They reflect each other in the mirror. Cancer is the chest, Leo is the heart, the lion heart, the green lion. Virgo is the belly, Libra, the scales, the two kidneys, yin and yang, balancing. Scorpio is the generative system. Sagittarius, the hips. Hippo, the horse. Capricorn is the knees, the kneecaps. Aquarius, the shins. And Pisces, the two fish, the 2 feet. Feet, fish. So you see 2 feet, all the mutable signs have a 2-ness about them. Pisces, the 2 feet. Sagittarius, the centaur, the hips, 2 hips. Virgo, the belly, the digestive system, the lower and the upper. Gemini, the twins, the twin lungs, the twin arms, the twin hands. And so this is the temple of Sun. There's no denying it. And who builded the temple? Hiram Abiff, the ram, because from the cerebrum comes the secretion of all the fluids in the nervous system, which, when perfected through alchemical practices, saves the soul from the depraved lower living, the lustful living, sense gratification.
Wow.
You can jump in. Yeah.
This is amazing. Steve, are you there? I'm just going to shout out to Steve Harris, the founder of this call. I just want to shoot.
I'm here.
Yeah, Steve. What Santos, very few people have. I mean, this is the first time I've read about the correspondence of the body parts to these things, but you ascended to 32 degrees many years ago before you left the Masons.
30. Yes, correct.
Do you remember some of the terminology, Steve? Not that this is hardcore Masonic, but I mean, there's certain just basically foundational stuff. It sounds like that. Understanding the correspondence of the body to the temple, and to the universe and to creation and all of these things. By the way, Santos, I thought the legs were Aquarius. That's the shins, though, right?
Yes. Yeah, but that's just in the body's
just a part of the leg.
Physical aspect. There are 12 systems in the body. Aquarius rules the system of the 12 Chinese meridian acupuncture meridians. Pisces rules the integumentary system. Capricorn the skeletal. Sagittarius the muscular. Scorpio the generative. I'm climbing up the body. I'm climbing up. Libra the renal and urinary. Virgo the digestive. Leo the cardiovascular. Cancer the immune system. Gemini the respiratory. Taurus the endocrine. And Aries the ram, the cerebrospinal nervous system.
This is amazing.
That's why the Lamb of God is so holy, and the holy cow, Aries and Taurus, the cerebram and the cerebellum, because they are up in heaven, in the cranium, in the dome, the vault of heaven. And so the cerebrum is Christ, the good shepherd, the Lamb of God, and Krishna is the good cowherd with his cows, the cerebellum. And so Bel means beautiful. Krishna is the beautiful one. That's one of his epithets. The all beautiful, because he is black light, resting light. And Christ means rest. Crest, when you come to a crest on a hill, you rest, because at the top of the way there's a rest. There's a kind of a slowing down at the top of the hill, and then you roll back down again. And this is how valleys, waves work. The energy goes up to the top, rests on the crest, which is Christ, which is black resting light, and then down you roll like a roller coaster. And that rolling, that motion, that's white light, magnetism. So we need to go to you don't go to the white light when you die, you go to the black light. The white light represents the Jesus archetype. The black light is the Christ archetype. So black is where you go back, for it has lack. White light is blanco in Spanish, which is blank, which means you start with a blank sheet, blank paper, and you reincarnate. This is why you'll be deceived if you go into the white light. It's not bad. It's just that it's the light of motion and incarnation and redshift and making the world. Magnetism makes the world. She's the mother of the world. Dielectricity does not. It rests. And so when you go back to the rest of Christ, crest, the black light where there is no lack, and where you go back, you don't want to be blank. White light will deceive you. This is why Lucifer is the deceiver. Lucifer means white light. Satan means black light. So the sun, Lucy in the sky with diamonds, Luke, Skywalker, walking on the ecliptic, Luke meant luce, light, lux. And so when Lucifer, the bringer of light, rises in the morning, he is blinding you with his light. So you go around seeing things and you think they're real. And so you put faith in the material transitory world, which is unstable. And so that's how the sun deceives you. But Saturn, at sunset, set is Saturn, who rules the darkness, he deceives you because you don't have vision at night and you stumble. And so they are both teaching you the day and the night is Lucifer and Satan, the light bringer and the bringer of darkness. But they are both modalities and ways of
blinded by the light.
God.
Blinded by the light.
Yeah. One is extroversion, Lucifer. The other one is introversion, Satan. That's why don't you listen to Satan. He's esoteric. He is occult. Hidden in the dark. If you don't go to the darkness, you don't find the treasures. I don't know if I'm speaking too over the top for your listeners, but no apologies for going deep. This is the science we need to know, and we need to know it
yesterday. Absolutely. Santos, you've whet our appetite for more of these details, which everyone in our website, we've provided the links to Santos's work, including his Twitter page, his website, universaltruthschool.com. His bio is there. His YouTube channel link is there. His Patreon channel is there to link to support his work. God bless you, Santos. This is really, really inspiring stuff. And I'm not saying we're all going to take it hook, line, and sinker, but we are open and receptive on this call to presentations like this because it lays it's like setting a table. You're setting a table for a divine meal for us to sit at and eat from. You're serving up some good stuff. And we would like to learn more.
Yeah, well, this is the knowledge that's in Scripture. When you learn to read the Scriptures literarily rather than literally, you have the keys of the kingdom. Hence, Jesus said, it's spoken many times that the word of God is metaphor. It's allegory. It's anagogic wisdom. Anagogic is the mystic wisdom. NYST is baptism of fire. MIST is water, the lower baptism. We must be baptized with fire to become a mystic and have anagogic wisdom.
I think I hear Betty Smith in the background. Betty, go right ahead.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much. And I just want to say that I was also a witness at one time. And I look at it positively only because I think it opened my brain to be able to explore. And I really, really am very interested in what you just taught tonight.
That's Betty Smith, who's the co-founder of this show. Santos?
Yep. Wonderful. Thank you, sister. That's very encouraging. And it's good to know that you don't have any regrets. I don't either. I learned the Scriptures. I read the Bible. I did due diligence. I was very devoted, disciplined, diligent, and quite scrupulous, really, when it came to this knowledge. I paid attention, and we can all do it. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to. I'm not a genius. I'm nowhere near it. I'm so self-conscious about my own ignorance. I'm very well aware of it. I'm not, trying to sound, pretentious and, try to have airs over anybody. We all know this. It's our knowledge. This is ours. I just devoted myself to it. That's all. Hence, I will arrive at it earlier than others. And others have arrived before me and taught me. And so this is not new. This is ancient wisdom, or rather wisdom that is. People tend to think that the ancients were not as smart as we are. The universe has always been smart, intelligent, and all-knowing. We are just forgetting this. It's a cycle of incarnation where forgetfulness, where we descend from the Milky Way and drink excessively from the cup of lethe, as Macrobius says in dissecting Plato's cave of the nymphs.
Well, there is a scripture.
We are in this.
There is a scripture, I believe, that says the God within you. So what you were describing is that really.
Colossians 1:27. For I speak of you of the Christ in you, and hence the kingdom of God is within. Have I not said that ye are gods? That's Jesus quoting the Psalms. Why would Jesus be telling us that we are gods?
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yes. And that's telling us, giving us faith and courage to conquer the world. Have faith, for I have conquered the world, and you will do greater works than these. People were marveling at the miracles. It says, you will do greater works than these. But we have to get our power restored. And how you do that is through honourable practices and being worthy to have your power restored. They have been taken away from us. We don't have magic magnetism. We don't even know what it is. You won't get anyone out there from guys like Einstein and all of these guys who will explain to you what magnetism is. They will describe it, but they will not explain it.
Mm-hmm.
To explain magnetism is another thing altogether, and they don't want you to know what magnetism is. It's the pulse of the universe. The universe is pulsating. And in between the pulses, there is non-reality. So reality is maintained by a pulse. It's an on and off experience, only we do not see the spaces in between. Hence, we cannot astral travel. We cannot utilize the energy from that space of non-manifestation. It's pulsating, like your AC lights. We see a continuous flow of light, but our eye is not fast enough at 24 beats a second to pick that it's actually fluctuating. AC, it's alternating.
Yeah, alternating current.
It's pulsating. Hence the confusion when the double slit experiment argument comes along. And they say, oh, when you observe it, it's a particle, and when you don't, it's a wave. No. There ain't any particles, and what they're observing is the pulse, the radiating pulse, which creates a wave. A wave is polarized, redshift, blueshift. So you will see the pulse back of the wave through the double slit experiment every time. Only they are confusing you deliberately, telling you it's a particle. There are no particles. Walter Russell said that they are all different rates, frequencies of vibration, from hydrogen to plutonium. That's all they are. Different rates of vibration. Vibration is electrical. They are the salts of the earth. Helium.
If you don't have that certain electrical, I don't know how to describe it, energy or whatever it be in your body, you die. So
we're all full of electricity.
And of course, you need that for magnetism also. So everything fits in.
Yeah, for sure. So magnetism is definitely the soul of the universe. Dielectricity is the spirit of the universe, and electricity is the body. Bodies are red shift, blue shift. Your torso, the bottom chakra is red. The throat chakra is blue. Your own torso knows about red shift, blue shift. Red blood, blue blood, Republicans are red, Democrats are blue. Neither of them give a hoot about you. Red siren, blue siren, red hot water, blue cold water, red for little girls, as in pink, blue for little boys, red pill, blue pill. Why? Because red is the harshness of reality, the fire. Blue is the liquid. Blue is Krishna's color, his other color. I'll get back to that. Why is Krishna black and then blue? When you know syncretism, you know the answer to all these things. So blue shift is loving. It's water, liquid, love. Red is radiation, radharani, rage. See? And these are the two energies opposing each other and helping each other forever, wherever they go. This is the twin. Atom means unit, Tom means twin. A, privative, in front of Tom, gives you the opposite of its meaning. Tom is Thomas the twin. So an atom is a twin, but it is a unit, hence atom. Talking about unity, all is atom. So this is why all percussive instruments have tom in them. A drummer plays tom-toms, dum-dum, din-din, tambourine, timpali, timbali, all of these tam, tim, tom, time. See, tim is tom. The atom, vowels are interchangeable, so you just slip in tim, Timmy, Timmy and Tommy, space and time. Tommy makes space as a twin, a torus field, and time is time, chronos, the hourglass inside all atoms. So if you want to understand more about magnetism, I like to promote Ken Wheeler and his YouTube channel, Theoria Apotheosis. And
wait. Ken Wheeler, WHEELER, and his channel is what?
Yep. And
what's the name? What's the name of his YouTube channel? What is it called?
Theoria Apotheosis.
Apotheosis. Oh, okay.
When you find it, Fred,
don't worry.
send me the.
If you misspell
I don't know how to spell all that.
I'll get it, Betty. I'll send it off to you, everyone. Ken Wheeler, Theoria.
Apotheosis is a Greek word which means metamorphosis. You are becoming a god. We must experience apotheosis. APOPHEOSIS. Yes. And John Nowalski, he talks about magnetricity, and he explains how magnetism is many times more powerful than electricity.
Okay. What's his last name? John what?
Nowalski.
Oh, Noelski.
M for Mary. Milwaukee.
Okay. Moelski. Okay, got it. And what's the name of his channel?
He doesn't have a channel. He's got one interview on YouTube, which I'm looking for right now. Here we go. It's called. It's a great interview. I think it's the only one he's ever done, but it's so revealing. It's called Magnetricity, Our New Energy Source, with John Miluski, M-I-L-E, which is mile, and then W-S-K-I.
Okay. Got it. Magnetricity. That is cool. Magnetricity. Betty, I will get all this down and to the best of my ability. And if I can't get it, I'll text Santos back, and he'll give me the corrected version. Okay.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks.
All right. Anybody else? We're going to wrap this up. I told Santos it would be an hour, and we've gone over. But if anyone has a quick question for Santos, please just *6 your phone and have at it, because we're going to wrap it up. Put a bow tie around this thing, everyone. Anybody out there?
I'd like to make a comment to Santos. Yeah, Santos, this is Dee Dee. In the 70s, we founded an esoteric church called the Aquarian Church of Universal Service, and the philosophy behind it was based on a lot of what you're talking about. And I had a particular interest in the earth sciences, so I started studying herbalism in the late 60s. And I actually learned about the herbs based on astrology and the parts of the body that you were speaking of. And I also learned homeopathy that way, by the signs and by the position of the frequency in the body. And so I was really familiar with a lot of what you were speaking about, and it served me well over the years. I've forgotten a lot of it, but it made the study for me a lot more fascinating, because we were learning about the symbolism, a lot of the symbolism you spoke about, and it never left me. It changed my way of looking at religion and the body and the society and consciousness, and I'm very grateful for that. Sometimes it was hard to speak about it back then, because it wasn't as well known. People didn't even know who Tesla were, but we were working with the Cosmic Awareness Channel that came. It was the same source that Edgar Cayce was channeling, and so we were privy to a lot of these this information in similar ways that you were describing it. So I really appreciate what you brought to us tonight. The term Astrotheologist is a new term to me, and I really enjoyed that. So thank you so much for sharing, and I know that it meant a lot to everyone to have something profound and very meaningful tonight, something that wasn't political and something we could all launch off of to a new way of learning about ourselves and our world.
Thank you, Dee Dee. I really appreciate that. And to know that you've got grounding in these sciences is also very encouraging. I find that, unfortunately, we have very distracted lives where we do jobs rather than work, the good work. Mm-hmm. And the magnum opus, the great work. So that's great. We're all on the path, and we're all at different degrees and levels. But we help each other, and we learn from each other, whether we are above on the path or below. Humility enables us to learn through that mode of receiving truth. Those who have hardened hearts, as the prophet spoke of, woe unto you, Israel, for you have hardened your hearts against my prophets, and you do not listen to them. This is ones who have shut up their hearts, and they've got narrow and harming them, but they are opinionated and they are at that level. So it's not something that is anything other than like a duty, but a love that we have. We do have responsibility to let the truth be known. We don't have any individual responsibility toward individuals. They have themselves, but we do have a responsibility.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And we all have things so much to learn, no matter where we are in the scheme of things.
Absolutely, absolutely. Betty chimed in, Dee Dee chimed in, Steve, if you're still out there. Anybody else? Just a quick comment to Santos, and we're going to bid him adieu on this 22nd day of August. Santos, could I ask you one question? You could type the year later, but what was your birthday?
24th of March, 63.
24th of March. Oh my gosh. All right, Dee, we're gonna have to work on that. Santos, I'll send you some numbers. I love numbers. 3/24/1963. God bless you. Okay, March 24th. Okay. I can't do it right now, but I'll get around to tomorrow or the next day. I'll calculate some stuff. I love the way numbers connect us all, the times that we were born, important things that happened to us, and so on and so on. And this day, with your presentation tonight for our group, there's something behind it that we can always discover later. But it's energy, as you say. It's the pattern in throwing the rocks in the pond, so to speak. Beautiful patterns that radiate and ripple around. Well, I think we're going to put a bow tie around this. Santos, thank you so much, everyone. It's been a great evening. And please go down to the newsletter on our website right now. All the links are there for Santos's work. His YouTube channel, universaltruthschool.com is the link. His Twitter account is there. His Patreon link is there. And please share this link with as many people as you know. And Santos, we will definitely stay in touch because we are very open to learning more about your work and sharing more of your work, because it is a labor of love, and it's a part of this whole process that we definitely feel like we're on as well, and we can learn more from you at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be a pleasure. Anytime.
Okay, Santos. God bless you, Santos. Everyone, we'll see you next week. It's been a great show. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you, Betty, and everyone else listening. It's a wrap, and we will send this link to the audio link, Santos. I'll get it over to you really quick, ASAP, once the show is done, okay? God bless everyone. Thanks again, Santos.
Thank you, Fred.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. God bless. See you guys next week. Thanks again. It's
AUN, American Underground Network.